Brumbies in the Australian Alps. As an introduced species, is the Brumbie an environmental threat to the Australian Alps, and do populations need to be controlled to sustain the alpine environment? This inquiry recognises that due to the large heavy frame of the Brumbie and herbivorous nature, unsustainable damage is being done to the alpine region. If no action is taken to control the Brumbie populations in the Alps, Brumbies will threaten the natural values of the region. Brumbies are defined as free-roaming wild horses and have occurred in the Australian Alps for over 150 years. Brumbies produce single young in an annual breeding season and live in small social units of harem or bachelor birds. Brumbies largely graze on grasses, sedges, herbs and reeds, showing preference for high-quality, low-fibre plants. When preferred food is unavailable, horses will expand their diet to include roots, bark, buds and fruit. The Australian Alps are located in the southeastern corner of Australia and encompass 11 national parks and reserves. The Australian Alps have a biodiverse plant community and are home to a number of rare and threatened animals to whom the plant communities and alpine wetlands are critical. Typically, mountainous alpine environments are wet with fragile soils and slow vegetation growth. The Australian Alps include important ecosystems such as land formations, vegetation, bogs and peatland, waterways and fauna. The alpine area is easily eroded and highly susceptible to compaction. Occupying the upper slopes, alpine humus soil slowly grades to acidic bog and fen peats on the saturated valley floors. Major changes to the soil include pugging, drying, compaction and erosion, and loss of soil structure in alpine wet areas can lead to soil moving downslope, entering water sources and water ponding. The Australian Alps are recognised as one of the centres of plant diversity and endemism in the world. Many alpine plants are very sensitive small shrubs and ground-hugging plants that have short summer growth seasons. Leads to a decrease in vegetation differences, less native species diversity, and an increased abundance of higher exotic species. Studies have shown that grazing inhibits the fertility of plants and subsequently affects the cover of herbs in alpine environments. Peatlands in conjunction with associated organic rich materials provide a significant carbon store and are vital areas of moist habitat for native flora and fauna. They are important and vital for the role they play in the interception, filtration, storage, and slow release of large quantities of quality water to streams and rivers. Bogs and peatlands are highly sensitive to trampling and are easily crushed up and broken, which leads to drying out, incision, and soil erosion. Trampling and wallowing of brumbies in bogs creates channeling in the disturbed sphagnum, a form of erosion that leads to water diversion and increased water levels exiting more rapidly. The snow-fed rivers of the mountains provide some of Australia's most important water catchments. While most of southeastern Australia utilises water and hydroelectric power generated from the Alps, agricultural industries in the lowlands are dependent on mountain water for irrigation. Alpine stream banks are susceptible to being churned up and broken down by horse hooves. Grazing by brumbies affects streamside vegetation, shape and quality of water column, and endangered aquatic and terrestrial wildlife by adversely affecting the structure of the soil portion of stream banks. Many native species are found within the Australian Alps. Specific plant communities are the key to survival for rare and threatened animals such as the alpine water skink. Brumby populations have been identified as a major threat to certain native wildlife species due to competition of resources and habitat modification. Damage sustained to alpine environments has an immediate effect on habitat structure and contributes to deteriorating water quality and loss of landscape structure. To ensure the sustainability of the alpine environment for the future, Brumby populations need to be controlled. By utilising fertility control and reducing survival rates, populations can be potentially limited in the Australian Alps. So social acceptability, logistics and economic constraints affect the implementation of Brumby population control methods. Roping involves roping a horse and leading it to yards for removal. Using portable yards and salt lures, horses are enticed into yards with tripwire gate systems and removed from the Alps. A particular challenge faced while conducting this inquiry on Brumbies was finding unbiased information. Due to the cultural significance of Brumbies, they tended to be either romanticised or villainised. Another significant challenge was finding authentic research, as the topic seems to be in the early stages of exploration.